You had to know that this was coming. Even I was like, are they gonna make a foundation? That's kind of the only thing left to do, or a skin tint. But yes, it's here. Saie Beauty on March 10th is going to have a wait list for Sephora, so you can go ahead and track it. And then on the 16th of March is when the official launch comes. However, I am one of the lucky people too, included, like a little group, that we have the foundation sent to us, as well as the brush, test it out, and provide feedback, of course, to the brand. There's no money involved, none of that. Give us your honest feedback, good or bad. It's a luminous foundation, first off, with no glitter, 0 specks. You can't see anything in the bottle, none of that. It is just pigment and skincare, so you don't have to worry about any of that. Another thing is just the whole ratio, the math ratio with this foundation. You have 85% of it is skincare, and then you have the 15% of it is pigment. So the skincare portion, which a lot of skincare is already infused in their products from what I've noticed, is, they have the squalene, if I'm even pronouncing that right, and the other ingredients to make it, skincare. But allegedly, according to the brand, there is their own, I think it's called Hydro Bounce. Let me make sure I'm saying, yes, it is a Hydro Bounce complex. That's their proprietary ingredient that is supposed to hydrate a lot more than, I guess I would say, like hyaluronic acid or whatever's out there on the market. It delivers 5 times more that hydration. So that's what they're claiming. The Glowy Skin comes in 36 shades, okay? And what the complexion chart is stating here is to go by your slip tint shade, or you can go by your Hydro Beam shade, the concealer, and last you can go by your Glowy Super Skin, if you use it. So if you use at least 3 of their products in their lineup, they have the chart that will kind of help you decide which foundation that you run into. Now, there is a beauty tool that is sold with it. Well, it's not a bundle or whatnot. It's if you want to pick it up. So this is the base brush. It's a foundation. It states foundation perfecting brush. The brand recommends that you shake it up. Okay, that's how you first apply it. So of course, when I'm first doing my testing, I'm going exactly by the directions. I shook it up. I noticed that when I opened up, the pump, it has a pump, which is good. And I looked at the actual product itself. I personally didn't really see any separation. It mentions in the notes that you may have separation, and that's normal. Obviously us as the consumer, we would be like, excuse me, is that old? No. That's what they recommend, to shake it. But again, I didn't notice anything when I first opened it up. Let's start with the application here. Day 1, I don't wear any primer. That's how I always do it with foundation reviews. I need to see how the actual liquid, whatever it is going to mix with my skin and my skin's natural oils. I need to see how that looks. I didn't have any skin reaction. Nothing really was settling anywhere, nothing, because I was even bringing it like almost underneath my eyes like a concealer. I didn't have anything settle in my smile lines. It went on great. So my other testing days are, I'm going to look and use my primers, which is like my skin prep. I'm going to use my gripping products, my Milk, my E.L.F. My products I already use to say, okay, here's a new item. Hey, you're new. You need to play with everything that's already here. Okay, you need to behave. And if you don't want to behave, you need to go. Okay, because that's just how it is. And if it becomes, part of my routine, I see it working with different products, that is a good sign. So for today, I use my Milk Grip Primer because I alternate Milk and E.L.F. and so forth. And either way, it doesn't matter. It worked fine with a gripping primer too. There was no patchiness. There wasn't anything that was like, ooh, it's just acting out with a different texture of a primer. And then of course it works great with skin prep products too, which is primarily what I use as well. So I'm just trying to give you all this information and test it with your already current routine and see how, if it will react that way. I want to briefly touch on powder. Now, I don't powder my entire face. I'll do certain things to see how it will react with it, because I know, of course, some people still do that. You know, they'll bake under their eyes or whatnot, or just, you know, cover it all up with powder. But what I primarily use is my loose powder. Now, I have Saie's loose powder. This loose powder is for people that do not like powder, so it's perfect for me. If you're someone that's like, I have to put powder on top of it, I recommend you use a powder that is not going to take away the actual natural effect of what this foundation really is. Otherwise, why wear the foundation, this particular kind? So I used it with the Saie Beauty one, works of course fine with that. And then I used it with my Milk, because I love my Milk loose powder. And then of course I used it with my Rare Beauty powder too. And I can still see the appearance that I'm pleased with. But again, I'm also using powders that are already, you know, they're my radiant loving powders, however you want to call it. But how it works with powder foundation and matte powder, all that mess, I have no clue, because I'm not part of that crew. Okay, I'm not part of that school bus. So I'm sure there's other creators that do like the matte that will probably, you know, review this and can tell you that. I already mentioned the texture is thin and runnier. So I wouldn't recommend pushing out a full pump. I would say go slow, like barely touch it, and it comes out, and just kind of work it into your skin. That way you can kind of know your preference level as far as the coverage. Because this foundation, it will build to medium. I saw it with my own eyes in my magnifying mirror. However, what you may be trying to cover needs to be what I say minor imperfection, okay? Because I was trying it on like a darker freckle up here, and of course it didn't cover it. But again, I'm not expecting it to do full, but let's say you do have something that is darker in color and you're thinking, well, medium foundation should be able to cover that. This won't. Okay, so that's what I wanted you to know. But just the faded little dark spots. I had a small, the pimple that was here, and then it's fading. You know, it's not completely gone, but it covered it. As I started to build up, it just was like this, and I can see it, it covered it. I didn't have to use my NARS pot concealer like I usually would for this one. It covered it up. So it will build up to medium coverage. It says what it's supposed to say. Okay, no pun intended. How does it wear throughout the day? You know, is it budge proof and so forth? This foundation is not marketed as that. It's a luminous foundation. It's a dewy foundation. I personally don't expect it to be like that. So keep that in mind. This isn't some 16-hour, 24-hour proof, waterproof, transfer proof, you know, whatever, kiss proof, whatever you want to call it. It's not meant for that. Okay. So keep that in mind. However, one thing it will deliver is, I feel, what a lot of the Saie brand products are. There's dew products, radiant products, and then there's Saie. Like, I don't even know. It's like they're on this other side. Their products offer a lot of dewy, radiant appearance on the skin. That's just how it is. So that's where I'm leading into as far as what is this foundation like? Who's it best marketed to? People that are like me. We like to look like we dunked our faces in a bucket of water and just go about our business. Okay, you walk in thunderstorm, dew witch, all that stuff that I use. Okay, it is like that. Okay, you like to look shiny, you like to look greasy, you like to look oily. All those words that describe a dewy, healthy, glowy skin. That is what the product will deliver. Okay, so if you're someone that is, well, I put that on, but then you put all this powder on it, or I want to look matte, or all that, it's not made for that. Okay, so if you're over there and you like the matte look and so forth, then this isn't a product for you. You're going to need to just, matte it down, which again, like I said, defeats the purpose. Why even try it? So if you are someone though that's like, no, I need to try it, because I know we're out there, right? then that's why I say use a powder that is not going to overall change the appearance on your skin. So it really is geared and marketed for those type of consumers. If I did not mention the price, I don't remember if I did. I actually don't know how much it costs because it doesn't say in any of the literature here. So I do apologize for that. It's probably, I'm just making a guess here, it may be around the same price as the slip tint or kind of around that area. It will say, of course, on March 10th when you go to Sephora's website to get on the wait list. Would I have purchased this on my own? If they hadn't sent this to me, of course I would, like I said. And is this something that I would have purchased and would have kept? Absolutely. Because again, this is my aesthetic. I like that dewy, radiant look. It can fit in with multiple beauty tools, and it gives me that appearance that I like. But most of all, the fact that it really does truly build up, like, no joke. I did not have to cover any these little minor imperfections with my NARS Pot Concealer, like I said. It is pigmented. So that little 15% of pigment is there and it's doing what it's supposed to say, which is to build up to a medium coverage. And that I appreciate. So that's about it. If I have left anything out, make sure, leave them down as comments and I'll let you know. So thank you everyone for just stopping by and spending some time with me. As always, it is greatly, greatly appreciated. You just have no idea. Have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Take care. Bye.